Okay, so you see, I was gonna initially make a Bleach video on the Thousand Year Blood War anime as it's recently come out about just a little bit over a month ago, but now with episode 6 coming out, I pretty much have no choice. I have to make a video on Bleach because right now it's just insane. Episode 6 was one of the greatest things I've ever seen from an anime. Might quite literally be one of my favorite anime episodes ever that isn't from Attack on Titan or Code Geass. Now listen, you can have your favorite anime of the season, but this video is going to be purely about the greatness that is Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, because this anime has absolutely been just phenomenal. Every single episode that has come out has been great. There hasn't been a single bad episode, even though Bleach does get a lot of criticism from people, especially people who are fans of the other two series from the big three. It is still a very good series in my opinion. Whilst it has its flaws, I really do think it does have its strong points. And the Thousand Year Blood War, in my opinion, is its biggest strong point. This arc, to me, is the best arc in Bleach, and these first 6 episodes have 100% showed that. It is, in my eyes, the best anime out right now, despite the fact that I made a video on Chainsaw Man relatively recently, but it's just the best out right now, period. In my opinion, nothing really comes close to it. Nothing comes close to its story, its fights. It's that good right now. That is just in my opinion, and again, you're entitled to your own opinion, but this video is on Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, so sit back, relax, and enjoy, as long as you're caught up to the anime, because this video has anime spoilers for episode 6. So episode 6 of the Thousand Year Blood War was a movie, to say the least. It was a movie in every possible way. The entire fight between Yamamoto and Yuhabahuah was outstanding to the point where I was literally losing my breath watching some of the scenes. Some of these some of the fight scenes were so well animated, like they were Mappa type animated, but even better at certain points. It was so visually pleasing, with the absolute hype from the fight and the build up from the previous episodes to this massive fight, being the two bosses of the two sides coming together and fighting. To be fair, this fight was built up for a while, and every time the two bosses go head to head, it is obviously going to be insane, but this fight just took it to the next level. It was leaps and bounds better than a lot of the other boss fights I've seen in anime. This was something else. I mean, it could just be a bit of recency bias along with it, but I think that the majority of you will agree with me. Even if some people don't like Bleach that much, they can't help but say this fight was not insane. This was insane, and it blew the manga version of it out of the park, even though I love manga more than anime for the most part. And I'm gonna be completely honest, this might honestly be the greatest fight I've seen in anime. Some fights, yes, they have some deeper meanings, yes, they have some, I guess, better moments, but especially in terms of animation, hype, and build-up, this is one of the greatest fights I've ever seen in an anime. And I don't watch that much anime, so I guess you could point that out, but seriously, I think a lot of people will agree with me on this. This was truly art. The emotions I felt throughout this episode were honestly inexplicable. Oh my god. The emotions I felt throughout this episode were pretty much inexplainable. I was just going through the entire spectrum of emotion. I was all over the place. I was staring at my screen. I was going crazy. I was screaming. It was so much fun to watch that for the first time. I am a manga reader. I know what happens, and I was going crazy. If I was an anime only, I would probably be in the grave right now. The music in Bleach, as we know, is always incredible, but they absolutely took it to another level in this episode. I mean, seriously, the new OST and the old both complemented the outstanding art and animation, and looking at some of the moments, it's clear to see how good this animation really matches the music. The two complemented each other so well, to the point where, again, it made some of the moments extremely hype and extremely enjoyable to watch. And one of those moments was Yamamoto's Bankai. This was probably the biggest thing I was waiting for with the anime. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's some other things that I'm also waiting for, but Yamamoto's Bankai was a huge thing I wanted to see animated, and it was done so well. The moment where all the flames are just going crazy, and you think Yamamoto's about to give Yuha a crazy attack, he just draws all the flames in to his blade, and that's it. He releases his Bankai, and it just goes so crazy after that. The animation takes it to a whole nother level, and I mean, I don't know, I've said this so many times in the video already, but it was so good. The music so far on this part has probably been better than most parts of Bleach. There's some OST that they haven't really used yet from the past that were so phenomenal, but right now, for these hype moments, it has been going crazy. The score has been stupid. It's just been, I guess it's just because I'm a music guy. I love the music in anime, especially. Some of these tracks are so emotional, but I think a lot of people can also agree with me on this. This battle was literally the battle of the two menaces on both sides. We get to see Yamamoto go all out and obliterate pretty much the entire Soul Society. We get a full power reveal from the strongest character, well, one of the strongest characters in the story of Bleach. Oh my goodness. The strongest Shinigami finally revealing his Bankai is so hype, and the way they revealed his Bankai too is so great. It wasn't something you'd probably expect, like this crazy inferno or something like that. It was simply him drawing all of that fire into this tiny little blade and being able to obliterate anything he touches. And that was just 1/4 of the actual power. He had 3 other directions he could go through. He had east, west, south, and north. East was the thing I just mentioned with the blade holding all the flames inside of it and obliterating anything he touches. West was this thing where he just turns himself to the sun pretty much. He becomes insanely hot and burns everything in his path. South was where he summoned the dead, which was so cool. And north was just this final blow that he gave to Yuha and pretty much took him out. We'll get to that later. The summoning of the dead was extremely cool, despite the fact that they were using CGI for this moment. I actually think the CGI complemented the creepy and zombie-like aesthetic of these monsters, so I actually applaud that decision. It was a really good decision, I think, without a doubt. This episode was some of the best animation for Bleach and for anime this season. I definitely do think Chainsaw Man is going to blow it out of the park eventually though. I know Mappa is going to pull something crazy out of its ass. Now, we get to see Yamamoto go crazy, as I mentioned. He does his power, and he obliterates Yuhabahuah out of the park. This guy just completely annihilates him, and when Yuhabahuah is just sitting there, he's pretty much dead. You know, you have that little suspicion that something else is gonna happen because this guy's the big boss of the Quincy's. He can't just really die like that, right? Well, it was a fake the whole time. Plot twist, it was a fake the whole time, and pretty much Yuhabahuah was talking with Aizen the entire time. And isn't it so cool seeing these two menaces, possibly the 2 coolest and best villains in shonen anime, just talking it out with each other for like a minute or 2. And then Yuhabahuah proceeding to absolutely scare the hell out of Yamamoto and obliterate him at the end. It was just a complete roller coaster of emotions, to say the least. This episode was all over the place, but in the best way possible. And after seeing all that Yamamoto has to offer, we get to see everything Yuhabahuah has to offer as well, except only like an 1/8 of his actual power. He plays the biggest Uno reverse card of 2022 and fools the entire Soul Society, and he one-shots Yamamoto. One shot. That's it. He steals his Bankai like it's nothing, and he just cuts him in half. That's it. Strongest Shinigami in the entire story gone. Just like that. Goodbye. This was the perfect build-up for Yuha as a villain, despite some of the criticism this decision by Tite Kubo might get. I know a lot of people did want to see an actual fight between Yamamoto and Yuha, but I think this was necessary to building up Yuha's character as a villain moving forward in the story, because even crazier things happen, which is insane. In my opinion, this is a 10 out of 10 episode if there ever is one. I already have a feeling that it's going to be rated very highly. I've already seen a few reactions of it. I can kind of tell the general consensus is this was absolutely insane and one of the greatest fights in anime, and I 100% agree with that statement. Let me know your thoughts on this Bleach episode in the description. I didn't really go into depth about the other episodes or the anime as a whole, because this episode kind of carried the entire anime so far, even though the other episodes were also really, really good. Episode 6 of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War is absolutely sensational. That is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care.